Okay, let's talk about how to increase employee engagement and satisfaction in the workplace. The main way you're going to do that is you're going to define your employees' expectations very, very well. Here is the challenge that most businesses deal with, and that is that most employees are not engaged in the workplace. Halo did a study that showed that 85% of employees are not engaged in the workplace, which means they're not satisfied. They have very little idea of what's expected of them. They do not feel appreciated in the workplace, and they do not feel informed. And before we go any further, let's talk about a big misconception that happens in business. And that is thinking it's about the money. Lack of job satisfaction in your employees very rarely has anything to do with the amount of money they're making. In fact, you could actually pay them more money and their job satisfaction would not increase. Yes, there's exceptions to the rule where somebody is grossly underpaid and you need to get their compensation up to the level that it needs to be at. But that really is the exception, not the rule. Okay, so how do you overcome this dissatisfaction with employees and avoid the misconception that all you have to do is pay them more money? Well, you need two robust systems or focuses in your business in order to do that. The first is that you need to define expectations for your employees. There should never be a question of what's expected of them. The second element is you need a robust communication system that is systemized, as you would probably guess, and that is consistent, concise, and effective. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to handle the first component, which is how to define expectations for your employees. In another video, I will cover how to set up an effective communication system. Let's talk about the elements you're going to need to introduce and implement in your company to ensure that you set good, quality, clear expectations for your employees. Well, the first thing you're going to need is you're going to need a mission statement and core values. The obvious question is, why should I have a mission statement and core values written out in my business? Well, if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? So the first thing that it does for you is it states the purpose of your company. You might find that difficult to do. When you actually put pen to paper, it's not as easy as it seems to actually put what the purpose of your company is. The second thing it does is it defines the company position for all the stakeholders in your business, your employees, your customers, your vendors, even your competitors, and of course, investors. All of them who have an interest in your business need to know what the company's position is. The next thing it does for you is it sets the foundation for you creating goals and objectives, both broadly, globally for the company, as well as individually for your employees. And then lastly, it helps you stay focused so that you're not just blown in the wind by any new idea or new concept, that you can stay true to your core values and your core mission. Let's look at an example of a good mission statement. You might have heard of these guys before. I think we can all say that this is a very successful organization that is driven by its mission statement and values. Chick-fil-A's mission statement is this: to be America's best quick-serve restaurant at winning and keeping customers. So the purpose and how in just really one sentence. And then their values are: we're here to serve, we're better together, we are purpose-driven, and we pursue what's next. Chick-fil-A is singularly focused on their mission statement and their values, and they do everything in their business that around those values. And it's made a huge impact on their organization. You can see how having a good mission statement and then focusing on that mission statement and championing that mission statement can make a big difference in your company. The next thing you need to implement in your business, if you don't have it, is an active job description. When we hear job description, we mainly think about the job description we provide when we are advertising for a new employee, for instance. It is that, but it's so much more. Let's look at an example of an active job description. Here listed are the elements that I believe are a minimum requirement to be part of your job description. You can add other things, but I believe these are the minimum requirements. First, what you need is just the general information: who the employee is, what position they hold, who they report to, what their job number is, what department they belong to, that sort of information. Then you want to state the mission statement. Remember, your job is you want your employees to champion your mission statement, so make sure that you are championing that as the first element of your job description. Next are the values. Those are very similar. They are going to actually support your mission statement, and these are the values you want them to uphold and help create the culture on. So again, make sure that you're stating that up front in your job description. Next is you just need a general job description. This is going to be one paragraph that describes the major duties and the overarching goals and expectations for the position. Next, you want to detail out those responsibilities. These are going to be the top 8 to 10 tasks that you want them to focus on. Now, I'm going to suggest that you have a very detailed task list of every little thing that they are responsible for. I have another video on managing your task in your organization to ensure nothing falls through the cracks and how to assign those tasks to your employees. And that task list would actually be associated with this, but you're going to state your top 8 to 10 tasks for them. Finally, you need to add 3 to 5 measurable goals. These are the goals that the employee is going to know that are his most important focus and how his performance will be judged. I'll talk a lot more about those goals here momentarily. The next thing you want to provide your employees, if you don't have it, is a policy and procedure manual. A policy and procedure manual may just seem like a necessary evil to you and boring and maybe not that important, but it really is important to your business. It defines the culture of your business, the conduct of your staff, and the processes that are important to you to accomplish your goals. Don't underestimate how important it is to have that defined and have everybody get behind it. Now, for the scope of this video, I'm not going to go through every element that needs to be in a policy procedure manual. I have a template available. If you'd like that, you can go to my website and you can look at the free form area and request it. There's also a ton of other resources that are out there on the elements and give you a template for how to set up a policy and procedure manual. Next is you need to set and review company goals frequently. You need company goals in order to achieve your mission statement and your values. You should have 2 to 3 large company goals, no more than 3. If you do more than 3, what's going to happen is your employees are going to be the jack of all trades and the master of none. It's just too many things to focus on. It's better to have 2 or 3 things you do really well than a lot of goals that don't get met. Ensure that you get collaboration from your associates when you set these goals. If you want good buy-in to your goals, have your employees help set those goals, and then they will be more likely to accomplish them. Be very specific on these goals. Don't focus on, we want to increase profit, we want to increase sales. Be more specific. We want to increase our gross profit percentage by 3 points. We want to increase our net profit by $10,000. Whatever it is, just be very specific. Then post them and refer to them often so that they stay top of mind with your staff. If you change a goal, make sure you communicate it well with your employees. Nothing's more demoralizing than working towards a goal that no longer exists. And that happens often. We get caught up in things and we change a goal, we change direction, but we forget to tell our staff and wonder why nobody's following us. Then you also want to set individual goals that support those company goals. So all the individual goals that you present or provide for your employees should then come alongside, collaborate with, and help you effectively accomplish your corporate goals. Finally, you need individual goals for each employee. These goals should be an outcropping of your corporate goals, as we talked about earlier. It is proven that an employee is more likely to make his individual goal if he knows that when he achieves it, it helps the company achieve their overarching goal. These need to be very specific and measurable goals. You only want 3 to 5 goals. You don't want too few goals or they won't be productive because they don't have enough to focus on. And you don't want too many goals because it just gets watered down and they're not effective at any of their goals. It's also important that they're able to track their progress themselves. They should be able to plot their performance on a day-to-day basis or whatever the time frame is and see the results as they plot it. If somebody else has to provide them the information, it won't be near as effective. You want to make sure you're using those goals in all the communication with your staff, whether it's casual communication and just mentioning those goals and how they're doing, and of course in formal communication. That should be their main judge of how they're doing in terms of their performance, is how they're performing in those goal areas. And then you want to reward that performance. Now I know some people say, hey, their paycheck is the reward. And if that's your train of thought, you will not be successful at getting a lot out of your employees. Set appropriate rewards for making these goals and going beyond the expectations of those goals. Because here's the reality. If they can understand it, they can track it, they're given the tools to achieve it, and they know what the reward's going to be, they have an extremely high chance of achieving that goal. Well, there you have it. There's an overview of how to set employee expectations in the workplace. What I hope I haven't done is overwhelm you. I realize that you may not have any of these or only some of these in place in your business, and that's okay. You just need to handle it one step at a time. There's that old adage that says, how do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time. And that's what you need to do. Just a bite at a time, add these processes and systems in place, and you'll be surprised about how effective it is at setting those expectations for your employees and watching satisfaction and watching their performance improve. As a reminder, I have forms and templates on my website in the Request the Form section, so you can go there to request anything you saw in this video or any other video for that matter. In the meantime, remember that success in your business really comes from focusing on the details. So keep majoring in those minors. Until next time.